Welcome to Beautiful from the Inside Out, Lighten Up. And we are going to have an amazing day. I understand Mercury is in retrograde, folks, and it has certainly done its retrograding here. Somehow the computer was unplugged this morning. Disaster! 16 pages in a book I was writing has disappeared. The computer stopped working. I had to run to the Mac store, and I was online with tech support all day. But guess what? A miracle of miracles. It sorted itself out about 25 minutes ago. So here we are all together. And I am so happy to be on the call with you. Today we're going to be working on addictions and compulsions related to food and weight loss. And I think this is one of the very big, powerful game changer weeks for not most of you, but for many people who struggle with weight. And so I'm very, very excited to start doing the clearings. Hi, Roxanne from New Orleans. Let's see how many people have signed on. I know I started right at, oh, good. We've got 9 people already here. Fantastic. And Betsy, yay, happy, because we're happy. Oh, my goodness, Mercury retrograde. You know, when you're approaching something where you have a lot of obstacles, it's really good to step away from the challenge and then center yourself and remember who you are. And remember that you're powerful beyond measure. And sometimes things in the universe, you know, they go haywire. But in the long run, things always work out. And I had a backup plan. We would do the phone call and I would send you the PowerPoint. But here we are. So I'm happy. And it's been raining here, and I'm wondering how it's been with you guys. We're actually having floods in my area, from a severe drought to flooding. So unbelievable, and what a blessing. And it's believable to me because that's what I imagined for the year, was a lot of rain. Hi, Nadia. Yay, she's glad we're connecting. I'm glad we're connecting. Okay, so let's get started on our pumping for the day. And if you've had any weight miracles, I know I lost some weight and then I've kind of been stationary. I haven't really gone up or down. Hoping to shift that again this week. So going to be working really hard myself on creating a miracle for myself. I'd really like to get down to my 20s weight. I don't know what your goal is, but you know, very excited to be moving forward, and definitely been doing a lot more exercise these days. So that's been something that's really changed with me, and it feels so great. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Robina. Okay, so we'll start, and there's Carol and Sherry. Hi, everyone. Yay. And we'll start with the blessing. And this is the opening mantras to when you're in a temple in India, you might hear this. This actually calls on the dispeller of obstacles and all the powers to keep, the powers of the universe to keep us this time together sacred and sanctified. Vakratunda Mahakaya Koti Surya Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurame Devo Sarva Kaeshu Sarvadam. Om Gam Ganapataye Namah. Om Dum Durgaye Namah. Om Aim Saraswati Swaha. Om Shanti Shanti, Shanti. And just take a breath in and out, and just breathe in the blessings of that opening mantra. I'd like you to rub your hands together in front of your heart chakra, creating some spiritual energy and some warmth in the palms of your hands. And once the palms are nice and warmed up, put your right hand over your heart chakra, left hand over your right hand in a universal mudra of self-love and self-affinity. Affirm to yourself, I love myself. I trust myself. I express my unique self. And just feel that self-love, permission to be you, to flow through every cell in the body. And we're going to be doing one focusing mudra, and you're just going to put your hands like this. So right hand makes a fist with the thumb pointing up, left hand caresses the right hand and matches thumb to thumb, putting your fingers out in front of you, kind of at eye level. So kind of at eye level. Oops, here we go. There, like that. And then you're going to be allowing your spiritual gaze, which is called your drishti, to gaze at the tips of your thumbs and breathing in and out, in and out, and just allow your gaze to focus just on the tips of the thumbs and repeating the word Sat Nam, my name is truth. Sat Nam, Sat Nam, Sat Nam. And just allowing that peace and that stillness to come into you, bringing your hands into your heart, opening your hands in a cup, which is called Miracle Mudra, or cup of love. And we're seeing the showering blessings from the universe filling our cup of love, giving us all the tools and the resources and the love and support we need to create a miracle in our life, to create change, positive change. And just imagine that cup overflowing with love and abundance and all of the gifts you need. Kind of in the Christian tradition, the spiritual flowing of spiritual gifts is called Pentecost. So when there's just an outpouring, but let's let that be today, that outpouring of spiritual gifts. And then tipping it into your heart, right hand first in, left hand caressing right hand, accepting the gifts of the universe. And breathing in and out. And breathing in and out. And coming present into your beautiful body, into the room, into the space of love. And welcome back. And welcome. And I see more people are coming in. Carol, Sherry, I think I said hi to Betsy. I'm getting webinar errors. I hope it's good now. Okay. And Kobe, beautiful. And Betsy, it's working great. Okay, fantastic. Well, today we're doing the topic of addictions and compulsions, overeating, stress eating, that kind of thing. So let's get into our pumping. And if any of you have noticed some miracles happening or just feeling better in your body, or you've actually noticed the scale going down, please let us know. So today, again, remove all programs for compulsive addictions, and this is related to overeating or anything related to weight and weight gain. Also the ability to release and let go. So we're going to be clearing all that interrupts being in charge of your body and weight, food addictions, emotional replacement, stress eating patterns. Well, that's what we're going for today. It's a good clearing today. And we'll be using this list: bloodlines, Lucifer stops, soul contracts, demonic curses, satanic and evil spirit curses, emotions, DNA, group mind virus, black magic curses, atheist thought forms, trauma, and cycles. Okay, we got to just start pumping. And hi, Patricia, welcome. And you know, sometimes we go through the holidays and we look like this. You know, we've gone out on dates or with our partners or with our friends, and we've just got like really excited about being together, and food can be part of so many activities. And I think one of the things that we work on in this class, hang on, we just got, the light just changed again in here. Isn't that strange? Anyway, what we're working on in this class is being able to be moderate and practice discipline, or practice, you know, the proper amount of food needed for your body. And I think it's such an interesting, and that is what we're working on this this class. By the way, a very wonderful book that I really enjoyed was called The Slow Down Diet, because it isn't a diet at all. It talks about the ritual of eating and making peace and ease with your food, eating slowly, appreciating the food. And, you know, I think one of the issues with weight and weight gain is that we just eat more calorically than our body can really utilize. And so, you know, I had showed, hi Heather, I see you there. I had showed you this Get Fit bracelet that I have, and it's showing me how many steps I've taken, and then showing me how much sleep I'm actually getting. I actually slept more than 8 hours last night. I was so tired. It tells me how many calories I burned and how many calories I burned, meaning yesterday I took a really big walk on the mountain and I burned 1,547 calories or something like that. But that's interesting, because if you don't want to gain weight, you wouldn't eat more than 1,500 calories. So just understanding that physical activity and metabolism are related to each other. So I've been really having fun with it. The other thing that's so fun about this bracelet, and there are all different kinds, so, and they come in different color bands, and I might switch my bands out. I got all the pastels. Yeah, but summer are the pastels, you know, so yeah, I'm digging it. And oh, the other thing is, on the app, then you compete with yourself on how much you've walked, and you look down and you go, how many steps have I taken today? I've taken, I don't know, 4,907 steps. So my goal is more like 10,000 steps, so I've got to get out for a walk. And then there's little competitions and things. So it's fun if you have some kind of games that you can play with yourself and, you know, kind of rethink, what am I doing? You know, like, am I actually getting the amount of exercise I need to slim up, because muscle burns fat. So if you have more muscle, you can eat more fatty food. Technically. So you want more muscle, and also just having good, like today, what we're going to do is we're going to remove addiction and compulsion towards food. So that should help. We're actually going to, if we have time at the end of the class, we'll do a little brain rejuvenation in that area of the brain, both the emotional brain and this kind of, I see it kind of in the center there of the head. We'll be working on that area where compulsion and the need to overeat, or the need to eat for emotional reasons, we're going to tune that up too. So we're going to do some clearing, and we're going to do a little rejuvenation there, and it's going to be awesome. So I see maybe some questions here. Heather, good afternoon. Hi. And I'm beginning to feel beautiful from the inside. I feel lighter energetically and have lost a couple of pounds. Feel happy. That is fantastic, Heather. Patricia, been really happy doing the meditations and look much younger. Yes, 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 yes. I have the OCD, okay. How can I clear it? Many hours of pumping. Okay, that's a good question, and would be great to work on the brain with this. Good. You know what I've noticed, Patricia, if you could get into, I definitely want you to pump, but if you can get into the Brilliant Brain class, I think it's in May or June, we're going to do a full brain rejuvenation. So even if you didn't get a chance to get into the VIP program, that would be a great thing to do, because really what I see is addiction completely disappears when the entire brain is cleaned up and regenerated. So that might be a really good thing. And for OCD right now, doing what you can do right now, even before you regenerate the brain, or Golden Age Year of Miracles, we also do a brain regeneration. Let's see. Yeah, it's a lot. It's 70 hours, but well worth it. I mean, I'm doing something that's 1,500 hours, so to me, it makes sense. I'm doing a lot of clearing. And you know what I have to remind all of you and myself is it's really great to do the clearings, but it's also really great to feel life in balance and have happy times. Um, I did something wonderful for myself last Friday. I booked a beautiful dinner at El Fornallo's, overlooking the ocean in Carmel by the Sea, and then went on to the Sunset Theater to hear um, Tommy Emmanuel, this incredible guitarist. So I attended a beautiful concert, um, bought groceries and flowers on the way home, and I just felt so filled. I mean, it was just such a treat to not just go to the movie theater, but actually do a really conscious plan of something that was exquisite that would normally be a date activity, but I'm not really dating while I'm going through my adoption process. So it just really fueled my emotional tanks. It made me feel so happy and connected. And it's funny because I ordered a lot of food and I would eat like 4 or 5 or 6 bites or 8 bites, and then I'd have it put in a to-go box, and then I'd have so they actually had 4 to-go boxes for me because I ordered a bunch of stuff and took most of it home and ate it over the weeks because I didn't want to overeat, but I wanted to really have it feel like a special meal. So I got a bunch of stuff. It was super fun. I loved it. Okay, let's see. What a fun evening. It totally was, Heather. It really was. And I've been checking out, and I hope that you do too. Here's what I'm thinking, guys. I think it's really, really great to clear. And one of the things I've noticed is if I mostly eat at home, I do better. I think in the restaurant, there's always, I actually really enjoy the doughy, yummy, fresh baked bread that these restaurants in my area do. So if I just go to the restaurant once a week and, do what I want to do once a week rather than more like 4 or 5 or 6 times a week, I think I do a lot better. But I think, consciously planning something really special rather than kind of catching things on the run and not being really careful is good. I know in my kitchen, it's really set up to succeed with the nutritional, I don't know, everything that I've got set up, and I've got my juicers and I've got everything kind of ready to roll. I know what I'm doing during the day. How many of you have it where you feel like you've got your nutritional plan pretty well figured out? A date with myself. That's exactly what I did. A date with myself. Yeah. Well, the adoption process, I made some decisions. I wouldn't be dating while I was going through the adoption process because if I met somebody that I kind of liked, he'd have to go through all the scrutiny that takes 4 to 6 months, and I'm already through it. So I figure I will, I'll just stay single right now and enjoy my life. But it's all good. Cause we're happy, 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 happy. Heather's group, Heather was in the Diamond retreat in May. And that group, we did all kinds of fun YouTube videos while we were doing clearings. And unfortunately, we didn't have really a speaker that got it out into the room, but that was one of them that we did while we were clearing. It was so much fun. And it was a very hip, very with it group. So everybody knew which videos to, put in so-and-so's name, put in Bruno Mars' name, put in blah, blah, blah. So we were getting all the really cool videos and soundtracks and music pieces that were really uplifting and fun and hip and very awesome. Part of that too, I think when you're looking at growing younger, and I know I'm keeping up with my meditations right along with you, you want to really look at your behaviors and your actions. My folks are always saying they're in God's waiting room, and honestly, we come from a very heritage of long livers. So people living to late 90s or 100. We have some distant relatives that have lived to 107 and 109. And we're in a new era. I think that I see myself at the very least, living another 60 years. So when you think about maintaining youthfulness, you have to also think about replugging into the youthful culture and, saying, okay, I can figure this out. Like, this is not, it's a techie thing, it's a techie thing. And it wouldn't necessarily naturally be what I would gravitate to. Oh, here's this thing that monitors my, I was thinking of the old fashioned pedometer that measured your steps that you'd hang on your hip. I was thinking, oh, I'd like to know how many steps I'm doing when I'm out hiking in Garland Park. I was thinking that would be fun. But, if you're really wanting to maintain your youthfulness, you need to be part of the youthful culture and not say, oh, that program is too hard to learn, or that was for me back when, or I'm in God's waiting room. You've got to be kind of thinking about what you're bringing in now and what you're learning, and just be willing to take on new ideas and concept. I was just getting the computer replacement parts. I ran over to the iMac or the Apple store, the Mac store, at lunchtime, and I was checking out. They've got classes pretty regularly. I guess these are really popular here, so they fill really fast. But my dad said his memory was slipping, and I could see it. I was actually really worried about him, and he created a strategy. He's going to the Mac store every week. He's signing up for every class. He checks every few hours, and he signs up for the next class. And he learns all the different programs and how to do this and that and everything. And I was actually thinking it might be really helpful for me to be, learning how to create files and things. I've always said, that's not my brain. I'm a creative, which is true. But I think in this phase, I think it would be really fun to take on learning something that's a little challenging for me, that's using different parts of the brain that I haven't been using. So I just was asking about the technology stuff, and I've been thinking about quantum physics. I've never studied quantum physics. I think it would be really fun, since we already are working in the quantum field, to actually read about what science is defined. So just to, the mindset of maintaining your youthfulness and your beauty. One other thing that was super fun, well, I think I said this. Yeah, I think I said this already. Okay, so let's just keep pumping. Pump, pump, pump. So you want to, you want people to think of you as youthful and beautiful. You want to have your activities be wonderful, youthful, and beautiful. Oh, I was thinking about the other thing I can mention. I went to see a movie that's out on it's called 13 Hours, something in Benghazi or something like that. And it was a tragedy that happened, and it was kind of the ISIS kind of, exploding in 2012. And I highly recommend you do not go to that film. It was so on such a core level for me, disruptive and disturbing, that it really, really shook me. And I thought, well, people asked me on the State of the Union, and they've asked me in the group calls, the community calls, what I want or think about ISIS and what could be done or what could we do to help. And I thought I was doing myself a favor. I thought I was educating myself. But the film was so traumatizing, and all the ISIS stuff is very scary, that I think that we just need to protect ourselves from this energy. So I just highly recommend no violence, and no, even if it's, like you're informing yourself about something, I don't think it's helpful for growing younger. I think it traumatizes the body and stops regeneration, is what it looked like to me. So let's see. Okay, think with yourself. Okay, Heather, the dancing of the guys and showing off one's fashion. Oh, that's so funny. That's true. We had in Heather's diamond class, we had some guys in the back of the room. It was so funny, actually, maybe all of the guys, because they competed and they were all dancing. And we had an older gentleman that was probably in his 70s, had a big tummy, and he was strutting his stuff, and they were so hysterical. It was so funny. Oh my goodness. Ramana, I've noticed a slimming down, and while I was at it, I activated my eyelashes to grow, and today I noticed visible difference in my eyelashes. Yay! I'm so excited. Weird question, but I would love to reduce the size of my nose. Are we able to do that? I think so. Why don't you just pump, imagine the size that you want, or imagine the look that you want, and just pump for it and see what happens. I believe that we can change anything. So I think just go for it. Heather, can you give me address? Can you help me address my memory? It has not been good as it was. I know it's not our topic today. Yes, Heather, and the cool thing is when you come into the Ruby class, I think it's day 2 or day 3, we do an entire brain regeneration, and we do it from start to finish. And what's very cool is we're looking at the very specific needs of the tiny group. So you'll be happy. In the meantime, you could there's a meditation called Brilliant Brain, and people do that twice a week, and that does help some. And B, I've been working on clearing suppression, domination, and control. When I tested that, I cleared 100%. Is that true? Have I? You have, B. Yay! Yay, yay, yay! Yeah, me too. I cleared that 100%. Boy, life is different, isn't it? Let's see. I saw Reverend, and that was a good film, but also brutal. I had heard that one was really brutal. I said, okay, no more. I mean, I went to that film on Saturday night. I had to do an errand over in that area where the film was playing, so I went to it. And which is normal. I go to the films once a week typically. But I woke up on Sunday morning just really distressed, like, ugh. And my dreams have been a little affected the last few days, so I'm going to work on clearing my dream space before I go to sleep tonight. Yeah, it was tough. Okay, Heather, I've been working. Okay, oh, you're welcome for the confirmation, B. Working on suppression too, and boy, do I feel different already. I'm not done yet. Good, Heather. I'm proud of you. Thank you. That's great. And Patricia, my friends are telling me also that I look younger and feel beautiful. Is my OCD parasites or aliens? Thank you. If I'm not affected by OCD, I'm very happy woman. Well, OCD, of course, is spiritual parasites, and it's also your chemistry, and it's also programs informing your body. So if we were to look at, we would go through all the charts that I gave you in week 1, I think. And we would look at amplification and perception, emotions, DNA. We'd look at spiritual parasites, and we'd also look at all the anchors. And so you just start clearing, and that would help tremendously. That would, I used to suffer from a severe anxiety disorder, and I was considered major depression recurrent, which is pretty non-functional at some point. And I have neither. I mean, I just completely removed all of that from me, so none of that exists in me. I was diagnosed with severe fibromyalgia. They treated me with heavy narcotics, heavy anti-inflammatories, like 2,000 milligrams a day of a time-released anti-inflammatory, fentanyl patches, along with 9 morphine tablets. They gave me some kind of a hormone to calm down the joint pain, and tranquilizers, 3 tranquilizers a day to control the severe pain I was in. And I have none of it. I don't have any, zero, none. So with this work, you can clear everything away. Can we clear for other people? I suppose we muscle test to see if we have permission. No, you really shouldn't clear unless they say they want you to help them. Don't muscle test for permission. You have to ask them. And you can clear for other people. I'd love for you to be trained to clear for other people, which we do in the immersion program. That's the ideal situation. So you know what to expect, and you you can handle if something kind of comes up that is unexpected. It's not just clearing sometimes. You know, sometimes I'm removing stuff for you guys with seamlessly without you seeing. So I have a weird swooshing in my brain that comes on at night. I have cleared parasites, and I thought it was aliens and cleared that, and it's come back. I tested satanic energy. Do you confirm that? Yeah, it is satanic energy. Oh, excuse me. Oh. It's alien type 5, and it looks like there's 3 of them. Mechanisms, four mechanisms. That's it. I think if you clear that and the satanic energy, I think you'll be in better shape. You're welcome. Wow, so happy for you to be free. Oh yeah. I will continue to clear. Perfect. Yeah, you know, I think with the cancer and all the illness and the violence in my early life, and if you've read my books, you know I don't generally talk about the violence on the classes, but I was severely abused, and you know that leads for a messy life. So I've cleared so much of that, and I live a beautiful, blessed life, and feel so grateful every day to be alive and living in my dream home, growing my family in my beautiful, youthful body, and it's a good life. Yeah. So I know I've mentioned the immersion program. Just to let you know, there's still a few openings. We have people that have said they're interested in all 12 spots. So we have, I believe we have 8 confirmed and paid students, and we have four or five people saying I'm interested. But we'd like to get that filled for the year because I won't be teaching immersion again until 2021. So if you think that you'd like to do the year-long practitioners training, this would be a good time to be in communication with my staff. And if you need like to work out a payment, or you know there's some things that you need to sort out, we'd be happy to help you. I'd love to have all 12 spaces filled. That would be ideal for me. Since I'm taking a 4-year break with the newborns, I felt like, because I invite you into my home, you really are part of my world. Just when I had tiny babies, I thought it would be better to, you know, have a little pause in that. And we will be doing an online apprentice program, but it will not be a practitioner's program. This is the practitioner's program. So yeah, anyway, at least not that I know of. I guess if people kept begging, I probably would say yes. But at this point, that's not my vision. My apprentice vision is to really get people trained in how to work with themselves and shift reality for themselves. Yeah, Betsy, that's true. I really have. Yeah. And it's a good life, and I am so happy. And you know, I think I get tingles when when I say this. I really know that I had such a difficult life so that I could be a shining example of what's possible. And given all of the violence and the abuse, and you know, not being loved or cherished as a child, and being in a violent marriage, and having the children I gave birth to stolen basically from me with my ex's family, took them from me, and they aren't in my life. A brutal, violent Left 4 Dead attack. You know, I think I went through all of that so that I could understand the worst of human health conditions and how to recover from the worst of the worst, and how to be beautiful and radiant and bright and alive, and live each moment in gratitude and joy and appreciation and beauty and grace. This is this is my mission for sure. Heather's doing more hydration and you're doing perfect. Yep, I see that. That's good. And Romana said it makes sense. And Heather, you are walking miracle, a model for all of us. Thank you, Heather. And be your truly authentic healer. Oh, you're welcome. And B and Carol, thank you. Thanks. Well, I think, I see there's this path of initiation, and also a path of awakening. And I think that I gave myself an extra amount of challenges so that I would be sure to awaken in this life. And now, I don't know, my energy is, in that Power versus Force, where he says that the energy scale is from 0 to 1,000. There are people like me living, I guess I'm 2,900 today. So understand that, once you break free from the, muddle of the lower human struggles, which is exactly what we're doing here. We're breaking you free. We're on this path of enlightenment. Believe it or not, everything that we clear helps you become enlightened. Your energy vibration rises, and then you're able to control the universe in your own way. You're able to improve yourself dramatically. You're able to help others dramatically. So it starts out by wanting to, love yourself and be well. And also I'd say that my huge motivation is to help humanity. That, is always kind of the core of everything I do, is really, I want to help. I really, really sincerely, with all my heart, want to help raise the vibration of humanity. I think, looking at ISIS, since people were asking me on the State of the Union address, what about ISIS and can we do anything? Because I was talking about we're going to remove the curses from the earth. And I think that may be something that might be more of a spiritual men's group that might be able to work with that. The female energy that's like, we can bring in love and we can clear curses, but the attack energy and the satanic and demonic stuff that, when I was considering, gosh, I wonder if we could do some clearing on that. And I got kind of everything under attack, like everything breaking and falling apart. I was like, oh, I don't know if that's the way I want to approach this. I think that we can look to our hero men to take that on, and we can clear the curses of the planet, and we can restore love to the planet. That's what we can do. And that's kind of the way. It's so funny because I really feel like my approach has always been, well, we're not going to gang up on the illness. We're going to clear things, obviously, but we're going to work on restoring the health. And so whether we restore the health of the body or restore the health of the earth, we're not going to focus on what's wrong. We're going to focus on the beautiful expression of self that we can be, or the beautiful expression the world can be. And that's how we're going to be effective in the world. And I think that that's the woman's path. I don't think that we're the warrior necessarily. Obviously, we teach how to clear the spiritual parasites because you need to be able to take care of yourself. But that's more like a spiritual shower. It's not a, okay, now we're going after them and we're going to attack every spiritual parasite on the planet. We're just like, let's clean up the body because this is my body. I own it. I live in it. I belong in this body, and you don't. Bye-bye. So anyway, that's my theory. Thank you, Betsy. Thank you. Thank you, Betsy. Yeah, I can't remember if I said this or not. I know I said it to my production person beforehand. I was called the sexy spiritual bond girl of the spiritual community. Or let's see, the sexy bond girl of the spiritual community. The sexy bond girl of the spiritual community. That's how I was called on a recent interview I did. And I thought, I like that. I'm 58 years old, and I am the sexy bond girl of the spiritual community. I like it. I like it. And been interviewing, I have handyman working for me, and you know that you stay, you know that he's commenting on how feminine and powerful I am at the same time, and how beautiful that is to witness. You know, men actually like women standing in their power, and also being feminine, remaining feminine. Let's see here. Can you do a pose? I got a tickle, sorry. Tickle. Okay, some of you asked, I have an update on the energetics cleanse. I have not sold energetics for more than 5 years, so I no longer have an account with them. What they said to me is you can search energetics online and you can find the full clear out program. The program sells for $358.80. You can't buy it directly from energetics because they only sell to doctors and practitioners. However, there are rogue people online, he said, that do sell the product, and then they'll deliver it directly to your house. So you'll get it faster than if I ordered it for you. And I'm sorry that it took long to figure out, but they were trying to figure out if I could order some, even though I don't have a resale license anymore. And the final conclusion a few minutes before the class was tell them to buy it online. So you just energetics with an X instead of so the X is at the end, energetics, and you can find it that way. So if you wanted to do that wonderful colon cleanse, that would be the way I'd recommend to do it. The chic, you called the chic shaman. That's nice, Patricia. Julie Bond. Oh, yeah. Yeah. When my son was a little boy, I never talk about my kids because they're not in my life, but when he was a little boy, he said to me, Mom, you should be a spy, because I was athletic and I do the rappelling and I was clairvoyant. And one weekend, my kids were up visiting me and I said, I'm going to show you something. And 18 times the phone rang over the weekend. And I told them who it was and why they were calling before every single call. And it blew my kids' mind. They like, how did you know that? I'd say, it's Joe and he wants so-and-so. And it's Grandma and she wants so-and-so. And it's, you know, you can get it once or twice right, but I got it 18 times, so I got it right. So my little boy at the time thought I should be a spy. That's probably left a few of you wondering. I was married when I was a teenager to a farmer in the Midwest, and turns out we had a past life karma, and I was married off. My brother married me to one of his generals, who was an old kind of filthy guy that I said, okay, you can marry me in name only, which was prestigious for the general to be married to a king's sister. But I wouldn't sleep with him. So he cursed me and said he would come back and have children, have his way with me and have his, you know, many children. And so he found me in this life and married me as a teenager, and I had 3 children. And those children look exactly like him. He's blonde and heavyset and short, and they have almost nothing of my appearance. And they're entirely, completely part of his family. And just unbelievably, I lost custody of them, and they have no relationship to me. And that was incredibly painful to go through. But it happened when I was very, very young. And then I did have visitation for a while, and then as they matured, they just were so poisoned by, you know, the people who were around them saying things that were so unkind and not any relationship with truth. So anyway, that's that story. And they're all grown up and they're making their choices. And I pray for them. I pray that they find peace and that they experience real love and happiness in their life, because I know that they've really struggled, and they have a very low energy vibration because their dad's you know, an alcoholic and a troublesome person. Yeah, thank you, Ramana. Thanks. Mm, thanks, Kobe. I'll tell you what, I don't know. I mean, it took a long, long time to figure this out for myself, but I finally, um, I cried for 3 years when I lost custody. I mean, literally, I would go to work and school, and I would just be, my face would be just soaked for 3 years. And I thought, well, did God abandon me? Is God dead? You know, and I've come to understand that I had to learn that too. And I had the opportunity at that point to give birth to children, and I got to experience giving birth to children, which was amazing. Um, but I had to learn about that kind of deep loss, and what it takes to live a life when you feel like, you know, your reason for being was to be the mom of those kids. And it's been really an interesting journey. It wasn't that long ago. It's been a few years now. They just, as a group, the whole family decided never to speak to me again. And they announced that they knew that I was special. They did not want a special mom. They knew that I helped lots of people. They could see it. But they wanted a mother who grew old and, you know, wasn't in the limelight, and that they had decided that they were never going to speak to me again. And they've done that. They've never spoken to me since. So thank you, Betsy. And thank you, Colby, and all of you. Thank you. I feel the love. It's been so beautiful for me. I had attempted to have more children because they weren't in my life in my late 30s and through most of my 40s. I did with like the sperm bank and fertility medicine and everything I could think of. I had 13 miscarriages. And you know, it's just been a really beautiful process to be getting ready for my babies coming in, and I'm already in communication with them, and I see them in my arms. And um, it's a funny thing because I have this sense that I say I'm going to adopt two, but it feels like more babies are coming. So we'll see what ultimately happens. Um, I know that it's definitely the fulfillment of my heart's desire to love and raise children. And I love what I do for work, but you know, at the end of the day, having and raising a family to me is one of the wonderful things that I very much intend to have an experience of. So for me, it's amazing. Mm. Okay. Who helped me get a break? Thank you, Heather. Um, well, I've really done most of what I've done alone, and it's been interesting. I met a woman, Iram Said, who I had to kind of convince her that I could be on her telesummit, but I hadn't been able to kind of break into the telesummit world. So Iram allowed me to come into her her show, and then she had me on a few times, and it went really, really well. So on some level, I feel like I kind of pounded on doors until I got some doors to open. Um, Darius and Jennifer McLean have been wonderful as far as they like partnering with me and they like having me on their show. They sell a lot of product, and it really does allow me to get my work in the world. But I think when you say, where did I get my break? I think about the regeneration process and really feeling like I was being helped by Jesus. 8 years ago in my garden, certainly the Supreme Being and Mary and Jesus were helping me, and the angels, and my body started regenerating. I started remembering who I was. It was kind of like waking up, where 8 years ago, I was, kind of hovering between 500 and 700 vibrationally. All of a sudden, I woke up and my energy vibration just shot way up. And it continues to go up as I work with humanity, because I have this commitment to only use this power for good and only to help people. Let's see. Maybe their children. I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to see. I know that, Nadia. Thank you. And I receive that love. Thanks. Feels good. And Ramana says she found me on Darius. So glad you were there. Are here. Yay. So, hey, let's check on, see where we're at. We've been pumping for a while here. Okay. Bloodline, Lucifer stops, soul contracts, demonic curses, satanic curses, evil spirit curses. Yep. Emotions, DNA, group mind virus, black magic curses, atheist thought forms, trauma, and cycles. Cycles are not cleared. Oh my gosh, we just got all the way to the bottom here. Another minute or two on the cycles, and we should be able to pop into the brain booster. Yeah, and have you guys kind of figured out what your why is, the why you want to be younger and beautiful and sexy? And have you got your why? I mean, one of my big whys is I want to be really healthy for the babies coming in. So that's one of my big whys. I think when you're just doing it because you think it's a good idea, I think it's less potent. So get your why, the reason why. Maybe so you can feel great in your body when you're with your partner, or that you have all the vitality you need to accomplish your goals in life, but really specific. There's like a specific why to it. Okay, cycles are cleared, and we're now pumping for regeneration of the parts of the brain. We're doing a little brain booster on the parts of the brain controlling eating and hunger, the eating and hunger centers. We'll be clearing the dark energy, bringing the master cells to 100% in the physical form, mirroring the surrounding cells, and starting a cascade of new cell growth in the mitochondria. This is going to take us about 20 minutes. And we've got about 6 minutes left. So you're going to have to pump about 15 minutes after the class. If you stay on and watch the movies, that'll take you to the end of the the brain booster that we're going to do. So I think that I would recommend everybody just stay on and pump, and I will be in the chat box with you, but also just pumping so that we get that part of the brain regenerated. So it looks like a good 20 minutes, and I'll pump with you so that it happens in 20 minutes. Otherwise you might have like 8 hours or something. You don't want that. Cycles is OCD. Cycles is OCD. No, not necessarily. But I can see how you would think that because it's repetitive. Yeah. Good. Okay. So that you want to actually kind of prove it to yourself what you believe is actually the truth. I like that, Patricia. And it is true. And we can grow younger and more beautiful and more radiant and better than ever. I think, Patricia, when you're looking at OCD specifically, it looks like it's on a timeline. I don't know if did you read my articles I have in the blog on Spring Theory? I've got a couple more that are going to be added to that series, but that might be really interesting to you, where you're dipping down. There's instead of time being linear and going in a straight line, I talk about how time moves up in a spiral, and sometimes you're dipping down, and sometimes you're bending up into the future, and sometimes you're dipping down into the past. And that could be considered a cycle, but in your case, when you're looking at OCD, it's a timeline. So it's a spiral timeline, so that you dip down into that pattern or behavior. In any case, it tests as a timeline. Beautiful. That's great, Kobe. So she can do adventures at a day's notice. I know I'm excited. I'm going to Cabo, and I'm usually, when I go down to Mexico, the tropics, I find some rappelling somewhere where I can do zip lining and rappelling and traversing, and maybe some snorkeling. Certainly ocean. Oh, I don't know. Cabo isn't real good ocean swimming. I did parasailing there. So we'll see. But I always like to do a lot of physical things when I'm down in the tropics. So, Betsy, I've somehow always known we weren't designed to grow old. Yes. As a child, I thought about chameleons who lose their tails and then were able to grow them back. And we were capable of that. My why is to take care of myself and be an example to others, to help humanity get back on track and truly thrive. Beautiful. That's perfectly aligned with what I'm showing too. I think, in my age group, in, being 58, I'm so capable of now loving and caring for children. And I'm not going to be particularly old at 78. That is not any of my plan. I see myself being vibrant and young and, checking out colleges with the kids and playing with them, doing sports with them, and just staying right up with them. And our bodies are meant to live hundreds of years. So why would we follow the pattern of the older generation that talked themselves into growing old? My parents, when I'm around them, say, I'm old, I'm getting old, that's the way it's going to be. And for whatever reason, my mom will say, you're still young. To me, you don't know what it's like to be old. You're still young. But she's been telling me this for 20 years. She was old when she was my age. They were retired, when they were my age. So it's interesting. And I see more whys. That's fantastic. I disagree with gaining wisdom and experience and paying for it by looking older. I agree with that, B. Yeah, I like to be fit, young, and healthy and have all the wisdom of over the years. Beautiful. I love that. Gracias to Patricia and Ramana. My wise to be the best I can be, and inside of me matches the outside. It's a getting, oops, sliding down here. It's getting out of my own way. Also, I am on stage. I want to be beautiful, my presentation as possible, and feel good. Wonderful. I love that, Ramana. Did I miss anybody? Nope, I think I got everybody. Carol, if you lose weight and have loose skin, do you have skin protocols? We actually do. Part of that, though, is when you're doing the meditations, you can use them to tighten and tone the skin. And the other thing would be that you could go into the skin and do the rejuvenation, so using the stem cells. So yes, we do. Mexico, I'm going to Casaca, January and February through the 4th. Haha, would be a miracle if we cross paths. Oh yeah, I'm not going until March 8th. That's the first big opening in my schedule where I think I've got 9 days off. So, but that would be fun. I'm 57. I get carded when I ask for senior discount. How fun! That's great, Betsy. I want to feel and express my joy, love, and wisdom with others fully me and no one else. Being fully me and no one else. I get that. That's wonderful. Yay. Oh, okay. All right, my dears. Keep pumping. Pump for 15 minutes. If you want to stay on, the videos are coming up and they're going to go for about 15 minutes. So I have to turn this off so you can see the videos. And we'll pump for 15 more minutes and we'll have done the regeneration on the brain. And keep up your meditations. And so happy that you guys are here. I love you and we'll see you next week. Okay, bye everyone.